So hey there guys, Erin here again. It's another What I Eat in a Day Wednesday video. Today I am so far filming a lot of videos, just trying to get caught up on things. I've been kind of behind because just a lot of stuff. I ended up having to attend a funeral this weekend, and so that's kind of the sad, unfortunate thing that happened within my life. Trying to get back on track and get back into a regular groove. So far this morning I had regular coffee again. I thought I'd maybe quit doing this in February, but the thing I'm not enjoying is the lack of things in my coffee. Like, I like having collagen in my coffee. I like having a little bit of fat in my coffee. I like the way it tastes. It's a taste preference thing. I like black coffee. I will drink black coffee later on in the day, but you can't not say that the little bit of collagen and then like the flavor of like coconut oil isn't enjoyable, or at least it is for me. It might not be for everybody, but I like that flavor added to coffee. I feel like it accentuates it. However, I have been actually enjoying having larger meals and meals that are a little bit more filling. It's not that my meals weren't filling before. I was constantly dealing with being oversatiated, but I just feel like I have an actual appetite now. Maybe that's the better word for it. Maybe it's not enjoying bigger meals, but it's the fact that I haven't had any calories so far. So by the time I get to the point where I'm actually having my first meal, I'm really hungry. Like, I'm really truly hungry and ready to eat. So maybe it's that I'm enjoying, because I've been keto for so long and I've just dealt with this, very deep feeling of just constantly being full. That's the one big benefit of being keto, is that you get fuller faster and you stay fuller longer. Maybe it's just having that feeling of hunger again and actually being like, ooh, I'm hungry, I'm ready to eat, and having that excitement. Maybe that's what I'm enjoying. So I don't know, I guess I'm continuing on with this for a little bit longer than I thought I would. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. So it's about 10:20 now. I will be probably eating around 11:30 or so, so I will check in with you guys when I get ready to eat something. It's time for lunch, and I'm gonna go ahead and make a smoothie. This is one of those things where if you are keto, you might feel like, how could I ever have a nutritional smoothie and make sure that I'm actually getting enough fat in without having to add heaps of oil to it? And this is kind of my method for going about it, as well as getting the optimal amount of protein within my smoothie, making it taste good, and then sneaking some other nutrients in there. There are two ingredients that I'm going to be using that you don't really need to use if you don't have it, but I'm using that in order to make it more nutritious for myself and to make sure that I'm getting in more nutrients. So my base, my source of protein is going to be collagen, and I've talked about collagen a lot. I love collagen. It's my favorite source of protein when not actually eating a meat or a meat source or eggs. So it's a good way to kind of sneak it into this. I'm going to be doing 2 scoops of this, which is going to get me 22 grams of protein. That's basically kind of what I need for this meal of the day. I will be having a more protein dense dinner later on. I might even have some additional protein in a little bit after this, but this is my first meal of the day, and so this is what we're going with. The thing I like about this one, and it's the reason why you guys see it in tons and tons of videos, is because the cows are grass-fed. There's no antibiotics, there's no hormones, so you're just getting pure protein. There's no fillers in this, there's no additional ingredients. It's just pure beef collagen, and that's it. It's got the type 1 and the type 3 collagen, which are good for supporting the systems that I want collagen to support, which is my hair, my skin, my nails, my eyes, and then my organ tissue, so as well as my joints. The other thing that I like about it, the last thing I like about it, besides all those factors and the fact that it doesn't taste bad, it doesn't taste like animal, is that it's got probably one of the best amino acid profiles that I've ever seen in a collagen. As you can see, you get a ton of different amino acids within this one. No, it's not sponsored. No, they do not pay me to talk about this. I'm just a repeat customer, and if there's something that I'm finding really helpful for me on keto, of course I'm going to share it with you guys. That is something that I have continuously used, and been pretty loyal to using. I am not very loyal to MCT oils, at least not at the moment. The only thing that I do get is a C8 MCT oil, so that's what this is. And so just a generic MCT oil. There's no carbs, there's no protein in it, just pure fat. 15 grams of fat per serving, so I will probably do at least a serving of this, possibly 2 servings, in order to make sure that I'm getting enough fat. The thing I like about this one, and the reason why I wanted to actually show it and talk about it, is because it comes with this little squeeze topper, and 3 pumps is the equivalent of a tablespoon. And if you are like me and you've been enjoying MCT oil on keto for a while, you will know the intense pain of having to constantly wash tablespoons because you're constantly measuring out your MCT oil, so that way you don't poop your pants, because if you have too much, that could happen. The brand of MCT oil is Kiss My Keto. So that is a very cute name, and again, it's a C8 MCT oil, so if that's part of your criteria for MCT oil, it's a good one. The other thing I will be putting into this is some coconut milk, some canned coconut milk. Great source for fat. This is going to add about 12 grams of fat. You could choose to use something like almond milk if you wanted to, but that's going to give you less fat, so it's just something to keep in mind. I will be doing 1 tablespoon of peanut butter, which is half a serving of this peanut butter, so I'm going to get about an additional 7.5 grams of fat, about 3.5 total carbs, so that's going to get me 1.75 carbs or net carbs from this, about 4 grams of protein. I will also be adding in some stevia because this would taste horrible if I didn't put some sort of sweetener in it. And then the last thing I'm going to be adding in is some cacao powder. Cacao powder is a great source for both potassium as well as magnesium. 2.5 tablespoons of this will add some additional carbs to my meal, but it's going to give me 1/4 of my daily magnesium needs for the day. So that's amazing. Like real cacao or real cacao like chocolate bars are a great way to get in your daily magnesium if you're trying to figure out how to do it through food. You do need to keep in mind that by doing this, I am adding about 8 total carbs to this meal, which is a bit more than what I would typically go with, but there are 5 grams of fiber in one serving of this. So total carbs for this meal, it's going to be at about 12 total carbs, but minus the fiber that I'm getting both from the peanut butter and within this cacao, I'm only going to be at about 5 net carbs for this smoothie. The other thing I'm going to be adding in, and these are the 2 optional ingredients. The first one is spirulina. This is a great kind of alkalizing green. If you watch my pH video that I just did, this is something that I would add in order to kind of make my body be less acidic. Spirulina has a very strong taste, and that is why we definitely need this in the smoothie in order to kind of hide and mask that taste. But I will be doing 1 scoop of this, and I would say that this is the most deep green spirulina that I've ever yeah, it's got that very oceany smell, but it's the most deep green spirulina that I've ever come across. I'm gonna get more than my daily needs for vitamin A in this, as well as about half of my daily needs for vitamin K. A trace amount of iron and sodium are also in this, but really this is my vitamin A and vitamin K for the day. So the last thing that I'm adding in is a few drops of this vitamin D, vitamin K2 blend. I've talked about it before, but I live in a very northern climate. I am not getting any vitamin D from the sun outside. It's basically cloud cover all the time, and vitamin D is a great source for helping both calcium absorption, helping you kind of regulate your internal clock, and then also it helps with like just general bone health, general tissue repair, but it also helps with immunity. So I'm going to be putting a few drops of this into my smoothie in order to make it more nutritious. So I'm going to go ahead, blend that up, and then I'll show you guys what the finished product looks like. So this is my end shake result. It is quite green, but this does really taste like peanut butter because I added that in, as well as the kind of coconut milk that carries a strong taste. And then the cacao makes it kind of chocolatey. getting all my nutrients in, getting all of my kind of macros in, and I will put them up here for what it is for this smoothie. This will kind of hold me over for a little bit, and then if I eat anything else prior to dinner, I will show you guys. It's 1 o'clock now, so it's an hour and a half later, and I'm starting to feel like I just didn't get enough substance in my stomach, so it's feeling a little empty, but I do feel sustained. I am presently frying up some delicious cheese. This is baked goat's cheese. It's from a brand. Can you see that? There we go. All right, so this is what this like cheese looks like when it's all done cooking. I'm gonna cut it up into little kind of sticks, and it's got that nice like outside, but then it's got the soft squishy cheese. It's not quite like melted cheese, some sort of like mozzarella stick-esque thing. This is a good alternative if you're just trying to look for some pure fat and protein, but very crispy. I don't know if the camera will pick up but very crisp on the outside and very delicious. So this is gonna be a good little snack, and I will check in with you guys when I am ready to actually eat or make dinner. So in this evening, I was cooking keto for myself. So I made one of my favorite keto pasta alternatives, and I started with about 3 tablespoons of olive oil, added in 3 tablespoons of pine nuts, a tablespoon of garlic. Garlic is great because it is anti-inflammatory and it does help with gut health. And so this was just a great thing to add in, plus it gives that really great flavor. So I just kind of sauteed those up in the oil until they kind of opened up more, and then I tossed in 3 baby portobello mushrooms that were chopped up, and then kind of again sauteed that. Then I added in some baby spinach. This is 3 handfuls of baby spinach, which is about the equivalent of about 2.5 cups. So I just sauteed that up. The baby spinach is full of things like vitamin A and vitamin C as well as calcium, so this is going to get me more nutrients that I need for my day. I added in a very healthy dash of some apple cider vinegar, which just gives that additional flavor, plus apple cider vinegar is great at kind of helping with your pH. So I just allowed everything to kind of cook and meld together. I wanted the spinach to kind of fully wilt, and then once it was kind of most of the way wilted, I added in about 1 ounce of goat's cheese that I mixed with a bunch of salt, some crushed red pepper, sweet basil, onion, and garlic powders, and then I just kind of mix that all together until the cheese completely melts. It makes this amazing sauce because it will really pick up with that olive oil and it will kind of just all melt together. So I've talked about this before, but I like to pre-cook chicken breasts throughout my week, so that way I can easily just throw them into a meal. They're just kind of quick to get in there. This is 1.5 chicken breasts in total, so lots of protein getting thrown in there, and this is kind of my complete meal. So this is kind of a one-person's pasta alternative that is just full of nutrients, and you know, it kept me sustained throughout the rest of my evening, and I was able to get through a very intense workout after eating this. So I hope you guys enjoyed this day of eating and that it gave you some good recipe ideas. I'm thinking that in my next What I Eat in a Day video about doing potentially an updated pantry or kitchen tour where I go over kind of the items that I keep stocked in my kitchen. I also get a lot of questions about kitchen gadgets that I have or gadgets that I'm using when cooking. So if you guys would like me to do a video about either of those, comment below and I'd be more than happy to include that in my next What I Eat in a Day video. But otherwise, if you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Otherwise, I will just see you guys in my next video. Bye!